All right. Hey, Coach. Vic was just talking about Cam Newton and how good he's looked. What makes him so unique, and I guess where would you kind of rank him? There's a uniqueness to him all time, right? Like there's really been no other Cam Newtons. That's why he's got the most rushing touchdowns of a quarterback ever, I think.
Yeah, the guy has such great size and strength, and he's like a running back, a big running back, when he gets into your defense. And then he has a really strong arm, and he can improvise. There's just a lot of ways he can hurt you. It's a kind of a credit, to the Patriots. They know how to use people, and when they get a certain skill set in there, they maximize it, and that's another challenge for us. So we'll be ready to go, but he's a heck of a football player. It'll take 60 minutes.
Yeah, and I know that Cam plays into this a little bit, but when you look at the Patriots as one of the best rushing teams in the league this season, what's at the top of the checklist in terms of what you guys have to accomplish in order to limit that the best you can?
Well, we just got to know what phases they're in, because they're very multiple with their personnels and so forth. They have a real philosophy about rushing the ball, and they stay true to that. So we just got to be on point. We got to play our best rush defense of the season.
Next one, Ryan O'Halloran.
Hey, Ed, what makes Julian Edelman such an effective receiver after all these years?
Yeah, he's going to go down as one of the all-time competitors. We've worked against this guy. We've practiced against him, and he has a really good skill set. But it's hard to find guys tougher than this guy. He's just tough, and we got to challenge him, and we got to come through.
Guys, as a reminder, please use the lower your hand, raise your hand function. If you no longer have a question, go ahead, Troy.
With Cam in the run game, no one looks like he's 6'5", 255. He's bigger than your outside linebackers in some cases. What do you tell guys as they're trying to tackle him in the run game?
Yeah, we've played big people before, not quarterbacks like this, but you just got to use the same fundamentals. We're not going to really change anything, but you got to know he can shrug you off and he can run through you if you don't have your pads low. So you just got to know what you're hitting.
Guys, time for a few more. Next one, Zach Stevens.
Hey, Coach, how much does the game plan change this week now that you have an extra week to prepare for the Patriots?
It changes just a little bit because we did our work, but sometimes when you go back through it the second time, you might tweak a couple things. The big thing was there was a break there where our players, were not in the facility for a couple of days, to re-engage them, teach the same information to them differently, and then also take them to another level because we have more time, to get a deeper understanding of their opponent. So our coaches did a really good job of that. Our players are into it, and, we fully expect to play well.
Final one, Ryan.
Hey, Ed, you've added guys on defense since the regular season started, active roster on practice squad, and they've been able to play. What kind of tribute is that to your position coaches for the kind of teachers they are?
Yeah, they're really good, really good. You can go down the line, Vic has put a heck of a structure together here, but just the guys we've hired, they've all had to come through for us, whether it be Reggie Herring, Bill Kolauer. He had a fresh group of guys in there. John Pagano's had to play with replacement players. Everybody has. Ronaldo Hill, Chris B. And, what we've looked at, we've decided that we're looking at every change as an opportunity. And when there's change, there's opportunity. And let's get it going. And everybody's counting on us, so you might as well come through.
Hey, Pat, when Drew does come back to play, as a coach, how difficult is the balance or challenge to say, hey, keep on playing your game, Drew, but also protect yourself and maybe take some of those short profits instead of leaving yourself open for a big hit?
Well, I think when you go out and play, you got to trust them to execute the plays that we call. And certainly, everything's not just a short throw, short drop and a short throw. So, just got to trust yourself, go out and play, and try to execute in the way that we think is necessary.
Next one, Jeff Legwand.
I'm curious your thoughts on why it's difficult for quarterbacks the first time they face Bill's defense. Is it the variety or the execution or sort of all the above?
Yeah, I mean, I think quarterbacks have had a hard time against them the first, second, third, fourth time they played them too. I think, they're very, they're a very diverse scheme. They have excellent players, and certainly they go in with an idea of how they want to stop you, and they do a good job of executing that. So I think those are the reasons. So I wouldn't say it's the first time you face him. I mean, he can be difficult on quarterbacks that he sees sometimes twice a year.
Next one, Mike Clint.
Coach, your young offense added some age there with the insertion of DeMar Dotson. What has he brought just to the overall offense besides right tackle play?
Well, I think he stepped in and did a good job. I think he just turned 35, so I guess that adds some age to our group. But he's been there and done that. I think he has a good feel for the game, and I think regardless of what he might say or what he might do, I think when there's a bunch of younger players in there and they know there's a guy that's been there before playing with them, it kind of gives them a little bit of confidence.
Next one, Brandon Cristal.
Coach, what does having Philip Lindsay do to, I guess, diversify the offense, especially when you're probably going to have both he and Melvin Gordon at least for a while, because Coach Fangio told us the punishment for Melvin will come at the league level when it plays out in court.
No, I mean, getting another good player back it's important for us. I think you've heard me say it on these meetings a bunch of times, but you need multiple good running backs, and to be able to add Philip Lindsay back to the mix is huge. I think there's ways we can use them both together. They certainly, and we tried to do that in the first game when they were out there together. And then there's ways where they can go in there and be the featured guy. So I like to run the football. I like to call plays that gain yards, and I think, if we do what we have to, we always go in thinking, these are the things we want to do to run the ball and have success running the ball. And so having Philip back, just kind of adds to that.
Next one, Troy Rank.
Coach, what have you seen from Drew Lock? Now it's been about a week or so you've gotten to see him. Where does he look to you physically? And what are the challenges he faces in returning after, if he does, after a not prolonged absence, but certainly an absence?
Yeah, I think physically he looks good out there, running around, throwing. He's doing a good job of executing what our plan is going to be. And I anticipate he'll do that in the game setting. I think that's sort of where he's at. You look like the Lincoln lawyer. Are you in your car? Is it?
Troy, you're unmuted if you want to respond to that.
I live too far away. I live way closer to Oldham. And so I don't have time to get to my house before Zoom calls. So I work in the parking lot here.
Oh, good for you. No.
So that's why. But yeah, I look like I'm going to law school I'm taking night school in between press conferences.
That's a great movie, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
Guys, time for a few more. Next one, Arnie.
Pat, I know you weren't here the last few years when Garrett Bolles was sort of the number one enemy of Broncos fans for his propensity to hold. I was wondering if you could speak to the solid play he's had. He's been, I think, your most consistent offensive lineman, and maybe the work that Munch has done with him.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly haven't seen what everybody else saw prior to me getting here. I mean, I've been pleased with what he's done. He's tough, he's durable, he knows what he's doing, and he's been very effective here in the first quarter of the season. And I think watching him train, I think he's encouraged to keep that going. And I think that's a really good thing. So, I'm pleased about that. So I certainly don't have the view of him that the people that are here do, but hey, guys are allowed to change, guys are allowed to improve, and guys are allowed to produce at a higher level than they did in the past. And I think he's done all those things. With regard to Munch, I think they have a really good relationship. I think we as coaches and players sort of inspire each other. I think we as coaches do this because we like the youthful excitement of these players, and then being able to help them, execute you know, I see that sort of with the relationship with Munch and Garrett.
Guys, time for two quick ones. Go ahead, Ryan and Zach.
Hey, Pat, from game 1 to game 4, what have you seen the biggest strides for Cushenberry in terms of both physical and mental?
Well, I think, you know, I'm going to boil it way down. You know, there was more good plays in each game and less bad plays, you know, and I think there's a lot going on for a center. You know, you're in the middle of it all. You're calling it all. And, you know, we leaned on him and, you know, immediately to do all those things without any real game time experience. You know, in a typical year, you know, he would have gotten probably over 100 snaps in preseason games, which would have helped his development. He had to go out right away and do it against, you know, the Tennessee Titans. And I think that's, you know, that says a lot about him. And I think so more good plays, less bad plays. And I think I've seen improvement. I think we've all seen improvement in his play consistently throughout the games. And so we anticipate he'll make strides this week as well.
Final one, Zach.
Hey, Coach, speaking of young players, what do you need to see from Albert Okwuegbunam for him to get some playing time, and what strides has he taken in practice so far?
I am thoroughly impressed. Is that how you actually say his last name?
I think so.
You practiced that, I'll bet.
Oh,
I call him Big O. So, you know, I remember when I was at the Rams, we had Illinois Mike Manawa Nui, if you ever remember him in the league. So I'm going to wait. I was going to wait till the bye week to learn how to pronounce his name. But so for right now, we'll just go Big O since the bye week's over now. But anyways, what do we need to see? I don't know. I think, you know, he's out there practicing. He's probably had a good 2-week stretch here where he's finally healthy from that little groin thing he had. And, you know, just constant improvement. You know, I think a practice opportunity plays out for young players a lot like a game because they are seeing things for the first time, even in the practice setting. So continue to improve, continue to try to master the game plan of the week. And then when you're given an opportunity to make a play, make a play.